Hi, I'm Mark Bachmann with my good long-term friend Jim Teeny. Jim has just returned from a Atlantic salmon fishing trip in Iceland. And one of the unique things about that is that he caught lots of Atlantic salmon using the Teeny Nymph. So, how was Iceland for you, Jim?
Well, you know what, Mark, it was, first of all, it's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thanks.
And it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Been a great journey. But for me, it ended up to be a dream trip of a lifetime. And I mean, now I'm thinking about them all the time. Yeah, they're like our steelhead.
Yeah, I'll bet you know, it's kind of a kick. You actually caught your biggest Atlantic salmon where George H.W. Bush caught his biggest Atlantic salmon. That's running in a pretty brisk crowd now, I'd say.
It was in the same run, and George Bush Sr. got his biggest Atlantic, and then I got my biggest one there, so we've got something in common. Going there and going on this trip, I didn't know what to expect because I had caught Atlantic salmon, but not on their home waters. And so I thought, well, I'm going to fish for them just like I do steelhead and salmon. Same lines, same presentation, short leader, our Teeny Nymphs, leeches, flash flies, and see how it works. And honestly, I was richly rewarded. It was pretty cool.
So how many days did you fish?
I'm going to guess about maybe 6, I think.
6 days.
I think it was 6 days.
So how many fish did you land? How many Atlantic salmon did you land in your 6 days of fishing?
I got 27 to hand, and then my guide landed 5. So during his shorter period of time fishing, so we pretty well lit up the water. We were just having a ball.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great score for Atlantic salmon fishing.
Yeah, it was fun. Mm-hmm. The 2 lines that I used was our teeny mini tip, and then the tip taper 175, which is really close to a T200. But I used those 2 lines, and they were very adequate. And then I only had about a 4-foot leader, and I know Ginger was outstanding, Antique Gold was outstanding, Inset Green was right there with them, and then we went to a little bit of the Chili and some of the other in black. But those first 3 were really, really good.
So that was the deal. Mm-hmm. So they liked the more earthy tone, so to speak.
Yeah, and then also sometimes you could spot them, but most of the time we couldn't. So you just fished the runs. And I remember this one I got, and he was probably about maybe 12 pounds. It was a beautiful fish. But we were had the lower beat, and then the river went down, made a bend, and then you could hear the great big waves from the ocean coming in. So you could see the ocean, and there was a rock out on this nice long run. I mean, Mark, you would have loved it. I swear, you would have. We'd have spent more time there. But anyway, I thought, God, if I could just get the fly out there and swing it by that rock, and sure enough, I swung it down there, and wham, this fish just hit and made a run and made 3 great big beautiful jumps, and it was like, it had a lot of sea lice on it. It was very cool. Most of my fish were actually really bright with sea lice, but the big one that I got had been in the river a little bit. But he was so much fatter than all the other ones. All that, they're more streamlined, kind of like a steelhead, and not built like a king salmon. But this one big one, he was girthy.
Mm-hmm. So if you compare, say, the physical activity of an Atlantic salmon to a steelhead, is there any difference? One stronger than the other? What do you think?
I probably am not gonna tell you that they're stronger than a steelhead, because they might not be. But I will tell you what they do is when they actually make a decision to grab the fly, they're ferocious. When they want to take the fly, they are aggressive and they pound it. I mean, so that there's not like a little nibble,
Mm-hmm.
and you're wondering. I mean, they really grab it, and that part was really cool. And I think for me, it was just the idea to be in another country I'd never fished before, fishing for a fish in its native waters. I really loved that.
Well, there you have it. Teeny Nymphs in Iceland. Iceland Atlantic salmon love Teeny Nymphs. That kind of changes the looks of things in a way. This is the first time that we've heard of people using Teeny Nymphs exclusively for Atlantic salmon. You better put some in your box if you're traveling to Atlantic salmon country. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Mark.